I gotta be honest, I missed y'all last week. How you doing? You doing all right? All right. Now, you might not know this, but Jessica, who was leading us in worship earlier, it was her birthday yesterday. When I count to 3, will you say happy birthday, Jessica, really loud? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Jessica! She heard, I guarantee you she heard that. In fact, I'm pretty sure our neighbors heard that. So well played, thank you so much. All right, before we get started, just for some of you that might be a little newer with us, just to let you know, my name is Pastor Colby. I'm our middle school pastor, and I struggle with ADD. See, one of the things you can do to help me is a couple of things. One is when I'm trying to talk with you, because I actually have some stuff I've been praying over and preparing because I really want to help you. When you don't talk, it helps me be able to focus, and it helps other people in the room be able to listen. And if you have your phones, if you want to use it to take notes or to take pictures of what's on the screen, that's awesome. But if there's like flickering images on it and stuff, that kind of sets me off a little bit, and it makes it hard for people around you to focus. So if you wouldn't mind helping me for like the next 15 minutes of just focusing, keeping it quiet and chill, and trying not to play around on your phone a lot, it would really help me a lot and would help the other people around you. Is that cool? Awesome. So does anybody know what this is? That's a remote. No. You know what this is? This is power. That's what this is. This is power. See, because every day after school, I would run into the family room, and me and my sister would fight over this every day after school. Because if I could get to the remote control first, I had the power. That's right. I had the power. Yeah, and if I had the power, I got to watch He-Man, y'all. And He-Man was awesome. He was like this awkward WWF wrestler that ran around in his underwear with a big sword. And he rode a big green cat called Battle Cat. And he was awesome. And if I had yes, I got to control the TV. And if I got to control the TV, I got to control He-Man. And it was awesome, y'all. And can I be really honest? You know one of the main reasons I like to push for the power? It's because my sister hated He-Man. And so it's kind of a double win, right? Like, I really like He-Man, and my sister hates it. And like, when you're a really terrible big brother, it's like, oh, this is the best. Oh, come on, there's any big brothers, big sisters out there, and you know what I'm talking about? Come on, be real. Yeah. I'm not proud of it, but it was kind of awesome. But see, that's what's so crazy, is so back in the day, if I had this, I had the, right, I had the power. But see, today it's really different. See, tonight, we're actually starting this series called Trending, and we're gonna talk about stuff that actually some of us struggle with or we need answers for. That's what trending is about. And so in this first night together, we're gonna talk about media. And some of you might think, well, what the heck is media? Well, media really is the stuff that we use to entertain us or inform us. That's what media is. It's the stuff that either entertains us or it informs us. And now back in the day, most of my media was through a TV screen. Most of my media was through cable TV. It was through a hardwired computer. It was through a video console that was hardwired. And literally in our home, there was one TV that a lot of this could be centered through. But now we have media like everywhere, right? Like we have media like almost all the time everywhere. Like I was thinking about all the different forms of media that I like. I like YouTube and Netflix and Apple, and I like ESPN, and I like Disney, and I like Vimeo, and I like Pinterest. And I could scroll, watch, or stream my life away. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. See, there is media everywhere all the time around us. But here's what I know. I know that with media, we need, help me out, thanks. With media, we need what's called a filter. And some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, what is a filter? Well, someone should ask that. Hey, Pastor Colby, what's a filter? Oh, thanks for asking, that's awesome. Okay, I'm glad you asked. I looked it up on dictionary.com, and this is what I found out. I found out that a filter is any substance as cloth paper, porous porcelain, or a layer of charcoal or sand through which liquid or gas is passed to remove suspended impurities or to recover solids. And that made absolutely no sense to me. So I made up a definition for filter. This is an easier to understand definition of filter. A filter is a device, application, or mindset that keeps out what could mess up what should be kept in. And then the website there, of course, is Pastor Colby's easier to understand dictionary.com, which isn't a real website yet. Patent pending. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, but no, seriously, a filter is something that keeps the bad out and helps keep the good in. Does that make sense so far? Yeah. See, all of us need filters in our lives. All of us do. We need filters with the things that we say. We need filters on our photos to help us take better photos sometimes when the lighting is really junky, right? We need filters. Filters help us. See, the Bible actually even talks about filters. Jesus actually was mad at the religious people because the way they used filters was wrong. They thought that they had it all together and they were filtering out everything that was bad. And Jesus used a really strong analogy. This is what he said. In Matthew chapter 23, verse 24, he says, blind guides, which means he's insulting them, that they don't know where they're going. You strain your water so you won't accidentally swallow a gnat, but you swallow a camel. Let me explain that really quick. First thing about it is if you would have had a cup of water, you would have put a cloth over the top of it to keep the bugs from getting in your water. How many of y'all been camping, been out on a boat, been out on the lake, and you're like, you always cover up your drinks because you'll have wasps or bees or something like that get in. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he did, is talking about. You put something over the top to keep the bugs from getting in. But then he says something kind of silly. He says, you're keeping the gnats out, but you're letting the camels get in. The reason that would have been funny is because in that language, the word gnat and camel kind of sound alike, so that's Jesus making it funny. But the other side of it is this. The other side of it is that he's saying, you think you're filtering out everything that's bad, but you're missing some obvious things. And I want us to talk about that tonight. Because if all of us in this room are honest, all of us consume a lot of media almost all the time, and we're not filtering out all the bad stuff. The reason I know that is because I still see a lot of people on their phones. And some of you are taking pictures, and some of you are taking notes, and some of you are still being distracted by your phone. Because I know, because I get distracted by my phone too. There's a reason that we take in media. There's a reason that we do that. We take in media, first of all, because it makes us feel good. That's the first reason why we take in media. It makes us feel good. We like it. It entertains us. It makes us feel good, right? We like it. Here's the second reason, especially this happens in middle school, which, by the way, one of the things that's gonna happen in our time together is this is my heart for you. My heart is to help you be the very best you can. And so what I do is I pray and I study, and I pray for you, and I prepare to give you stuff that's gonna help you right now. The second thing, the reason that we use media, and this is the most powerful in middle school than maybe any other time of your life, is because you want to be like someone else that you respect. We want to be associated with someone else that's into whatever that is. Some of you have downloaded an app because you heard someone talk about it. You've gone to a website because someone you admire said good things about it. You've watched a video because someone recommended it to you. Those are the big reasons why we look at media. And not necessarily that either of those are bad reasons, but we also have to have a filter. See, media without a filter can control you. It can turn you into someone that you're not. It can make you someone ugly and controlled. See, one of the biggest lies that you can buy into in middle school is because you're no longer little kids and you don't want to be treated like a little kid. And I respect you that way, and that's why I talk to you the way I do, okay? So here's the thing about that. You're gonna fall into this trap where you think part of being a bigger kid or a young adult or a teenager is getting to do whatever you want. I wish that were true, but it's not. The older you get, the better your filter has to get, because people around you don't filter themselves. You have to have a good filter. What happens when you don't as you find yourself in trouble. Here's the thing that a lot of people won't talk about. Your brain is the most complicated computer on the entire world. And if you're a girl, I think your brain is even more complicated, because I'm a guy and I can't figure out the girls in my life. I'm just saying, I think girls are way complicated than dudes. I'm just saying that as a dude, most of my life is sports, eat, sleep, repeat, okay? That's, I hate to be, and I feel like the girls in my life are like, if you were to say all the things that repeat of theirs, their list is like 80 feet long, okay? Because girls, you know, and that's okay, girls, we love you, okay? It's great. But here's what I know. The best computer in the world is in China. It has over 140 computer chips in it, and it can make 93 quadrillion calculations a second. Now, I need you to understand something though. That's impressive. But it can only make calculations. In other words, you put in the information and tell it exactly what to do with it, and it will give you the answers. God's made your brain such a complicated computer that you're constantly taking in information. Input is what a computer programmer would call it. You're constantly bringing in input, and your brain is so complicated, it's constantly trying to figure out what to do with all the information that you're taking in. And that's why you have to have a filter. Because the thing is if you don't have a filter, your brain brings in all the information and it sticks inside your computer, and your brain tries to use it. I'm gonna give you some very real, very blunt analogies of why you need to have a good filter. On most phones in America, pornography is on their phones. Pornography is when people take sexual images of human beings and use it for entertainment. It dehumanizes people, it ruins lives, and let me tell you what it does with the computer in your brain. It creates unrealistic, unfair, and distracting memories that you try to impose on other people as you get older and have relationships. It ruins lives, destroys lives. The more violence you allow yourself to watch actually comes into your brain and makes violence not be as big a deal to you. The more gross words, disrespectful words, disgusting words that you allow to keep coming into your brain, whether it's through a song, through a video, through a screen, whatever media it is, those words start to come out of your mouth easier and easier and easier. The more input you bring in, the more your brain will try to use it in your life. And I want you to avoid a lot of mistakes that the rest of us did. Pornography will wreck the way you view your own body and the way you view other people in their relationships. Listening to things that cause you to start, because you'll get a song in your head, y'all, and you'll start singing it under your breath. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not a great song. You ever gotten busted by an adult for having a song come out of your mouth that you probably shouldn't have? Me too. In fact, when I got serious about my faith with Jesus, that was a process for me, was having to kind of ditch some of the music I listened to because it was stuff that shouldn't have been coming into my computer because my computer was trying to figure out ways to use it. Good or bad, we are giving information to our minds, and our minds will try and use it often because that's how complicated your brain is. That's how complicated the computer is that God gave you. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what kinds of information are you giving your mind to help you with your decisions? What kind of information is coming through your media? What is it that you're thinking about? What is it that you're applying? So I have an idea for a filter. In the book of Philippians in the Bible, chapter 4, verse 8, my mom introduced this to me when I was a teenager. It's one of the first verses that I actually tried to memorize. It's a little long. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true, honorable, and right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. So when you think about this kind of stuff, and let's let that hang in the air for a minute. When you allow these to be the kind of things that filter what comes in, your filter works. It keeps the right things in, and it keeps the wrong things out. Let this guide you in your conversations. Let this be the kind of thing that helps you out, because I promise you, it will. Here's another way to look at it. If you want to have a very real conversation with a really close friend to be the best you can be, here's the kind of questions you can ask about your media. Does it help me focus on what I should, when I should, or does it get in the way? Does it help me focus on the right things at the right time, or does it get in the way? Does it help me be the hero or the villain in my story or someone else's? Does it help me be my best and not try to control me to look like my worst? Now I'm gonna get very real. Games are supposed to be fun. If you find yourself playing a lot of video games and raging at the TV and becoming a jerk to people in your house, you might wanna put down the controller. If you find yourself watching videos and you're avoiding people who love you, might be good to figure out some new filters, some new boundaries. If you find yourself believing dark things about yourself or other people that are pulling you down and not helping lift you up, it might be time to look at your filter. So with my media, be wise about letting the good in. Be wise about filtering the bad out. Be wise about letting media not control you. All media requires a filter, and all media requires boundaries. So on the weekends, you heard my friend Garrett and you heard my friend Caleb talk earlier about how we're having color wars, and we do groups here on the weekends. And this weekend, we're gonna have some real conversations with our small group leaders about the kinds of media that help us and the kinds of media that don't. Some of you might be looking for better choices of the kinds of stuff you're putting in your lives. Those are great questions to ask your small group leaders. And now, I'm gonna give you a phenomenal mom-dad hack. If you want to be the one in control of your media, rather than your mom and dad controlling your media, I'm gonna give you the best secret I can give you. Are you ready? If there's stuff in your media that you know you would get in trouble if you were found out, don't let them find out. You go to your parents and you start the conversation before they can. Mom, I gotta be honest. There's some stuff on there that I'm not proud of, and I wanna make better choices. And if you make that kind of opening to a conversation, you're gonna earn respect and trust rather than having it taken away. And when you have filters and boundaries, you'll be your best, because that thing, this thing, and those things won't control you.